morning everybody, and welcome back to my channel for a new video. I feel like I look a little bit like an egg today because I've like slicked my hair back into a low ponytail, but it's okay. Every time I sit down to film a video, I'm like, should I put a little bit more effort into my appearance today, you know, look good for online or whatever, and then I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care that much. It's not that deep. Today I am going to be filming a special video, and the next couple videos are going to be all along like the same kind of path because it is July of 2025, which means that it was marking the 1 year anniversary of when I moved to Australia, which is super exciting. I feel like that time has gone so fast. All of a sudden it's just like here, and I feel like yesterday I was saying, oh, I've only been here 3 months, I've only been here 6 months, so time has definitely been flying. But I'm so excited, and it's been great. It's been a great year. I have absolutely no regrets thus far, and I love it here. But I wanted to use the kind of like anniversary to talk about a couple of things that I think I needed some time to sort of like marinate on and get marinate and get sort of a lot of experience like post moving, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like some of these things that I really want to talk about when it comes to like moving and adjusting to life and all of that kind of stuff, I kind of had to actually experience life here for a while before I made a video about it or talked about it too much. But anyway, today's video is about my experience in a long distance relationship, which isn't obviously directly about moving here, but we did experience it for 10 months because my partner moved in October of 2023, the very beginning, and I moved here in July of 2024. So there was a period of time where we were apart and very far apart, literally different countries. So I thought it might be cool to me to kind of reflect on that experience, but also try and give a little bit of advice for anyone who might be going through it or about to go through it, because I know the best thing that I had was one of my very good friends, B, was in New Zealand at the time when Mark left, and her husband was in Dubai. So she was kind of like my little source of information and reassurance and all of that stuff, and she helped me out a lot during that time, just telling me sort of what to expect and how it's going to feel, and being there for me when I was really overwhelmed and really lonely, especially at the start. So just a quick thank you to my beautiful B. I love you so much. Thank you for helping me get through that, because it genuinely was one of the roughest periods of my life, and I'm about to talk a little bit more about that. My first point is honestly very obvious, and I don't think anyone is going to contest it, but I think you don't realize how bad it's going to be until you're there. So it's going to be hard, and it's going to hurt, and it's going to suck more than you think that it's going to. Like, it's so easy to be like, yeah, I know this is going to be hard, but I just don't think it can fully click within you. Like, you're never going to know exactly how hard it's going to be until the second it happens. And the longer that you're in that, at least for me, the longer that we were apart, it did not get easier, it got harder. But it's important to feel those feelings and experience them and register that they're there, but also to let them pass. It is really important to help them pass through you and not linger with you, and that is something that I definitely struggled with. I went through periods of like, this is really great, I'm an independent woman, I'm going to get my life on track, this is my chance to focus on me, and then periods of I just miss him and my life and everything that I had so desperately. So it is going to come in waves, and it is going to suck, and the longer you're apart it might start sucking more, it might not get easier. So just be aware that that's going to happen, and that it's totally okay for you to feel those feelings, and that they're probably going to be a little bit harder and a little bit more overwhelming than you initially think they're going to be. Okay, so don't be hard on yourself. It's a rough time for everybody. Just take the time to surround yourself with good company, and I mean that in terms of like, there's a piece of hair in my face, but I mean that in terms of like your friends, your family, pets. Like, obviously I have the cats, Rusty and Chicken, both stayed with me when Mark went to Australia, so I found it really nice to have that sort of comfort, and I know that it was very hard for Mark not having that. It was like when he left for him, he left his entire family behind. Not only the life that he knew and his friends and his job and his family, but the people that were absolutely closest to him that he woke up to every single day and came home to every single night, he did not have that. So while I was missing him, he was missing everyone. So I think that's really, really important to just, no matter what side of it you're on, whether you're the person who is like moving away or you're the person who's waiting behind, or, you know, just make sure you surround yourself with the best kind of people. You need people who are going to distract you, lift you up, keep you really positive, make sure you're still living life and doing fun and interesting things, but also when you are sad, you need people who are going to support you through that. Following on from that thought, I think it's also really important to stay busy, because the less you have to do and the less you have to like occupy yourself and your mind, the more like opportunity you have to get down and get stuck in those negative emotions. So stay busy, use the time to invest in yourself. I did things like try a few new hobbies. I focused on who I was and growing as a person individually, because I think it's really important to, even when you're in a relationship, still grow as individual people. And this was a really good chance to, for both Mark and I. We kind of got to look into, what do I actually want to do today? You know, there's no compromising with someone else, or do I feel like I have to do something that includes the other person, which, don't get me wrong, in my day-to-day life I absolutely love, because I love spending time with Mark. It's one of my favorite things to do. But that period when we were apart, I did focus. I tried new hobbies. I tried crafting because I had more time to myself. I spent a lot of time on the computer playing games because it helped me keep social with him and our friend group. I spent a lot more time with friends in person because I didn't want to be in the house by myself because it made me lonely. So I kind of turned that little like negative hard thing into something that was really positive, because I spent it with the people that I love. And also I started going to the gym pretty much every single day, because not only did it get me out of the house, but it kept me active. It made me feel better. I was making positive changes in myself and my mind was occupied. It gave me something to do. So just stay busy as you can. Stay occupied. Your life can't revolve around the fact that you are missing someone. As much as you would love it to, and as much as it is important to you, especially in the moment, it's not as important to everybody else, and it's not important to the world. So you do need to keep moving, even though this one portion of your life is at a standstill, I guess. It can feel like that, I guess. Make a schedule of when you can talk to each other. So this one was really, really important for Mark and I. Luckily, he was only in Australia, so there wasn't very much of a time difference for us. It was either 2 hours or 3 hours, depending on the time of the year and where New Zealand was sitting with daylight savings. So it wasn't too bad for us, but I do know people, you know, if you're on the opposite side of the world, it might be a really big time gap. So it's really important to arrange like a schedule or a time every single day, or even if it's like a couple days or weekly, whatever works for you, but reserve that time for that person. So at the start, Mark and I would talk every single night for hours. Like we would not FaceTime because I don't have Apple, but like Messenger, video call each other for hours every single night. But as he got more into his job, he started working weekends, he started working late, and it just kind of wasn't feasible all the time. Our time that we reserved for each other every day was Mark's commute home from work. So it wouldn't be a video call, which sometimes sucked. Sometimes you do just really want to see your person, but I'll take talking to them over nothing. So his commute home is about 20-25 minutes maybe, depending on the traffic, and I would call him in his car and we would just chat while he drove. And so some days, and a lot of days honestly, when he was working super long hours, 6-7 days a week, that was what I got of him, was 20 minutes every day. And for him, I can't speak on his behalf for how he felt, but I know that he was so busy that that was just a tiny little part of his day in like this massive long routine that he had, because all he had to focus on here was work, because that's all he had. Whereas me at home, I worked from home, so my whole life felt like him. You know, for a while I did live my entire life just as the periods between when I got to talk to Mark. So for a while, when we only had that 20 minutes to talk, it was very, very difficult for me, because I spent, you know, 23.5 hours of my day being like, when do I get to talk to him next? When do I get to see him next? And so that was really hard. But I think making that schedule and sticking to it, and making sure you have that time and you commit that time to that person, is super important, because 20 minutes to me at that time was better than nothing. Those 20 minutes were the best 20 minutes of my day. and it is what it is. You have to do what you can with the time that you have to keep the connection and keep your relationship alive. You have to do the work when you're long distance, and it's really hard, but it's really worth it. I think a thing that people don't necessarily realize is that the time apart is hard, like when you're doing long distance, especially if you've been a couple that's not long distance, then you've gone long distance, and then you're going to reconnect again, like what Mark and I did. The reuniting is hard too. Like, it's not just, hello, we're here again, oh my god, life is perfect, we're back to how we were, because if you're having like a long period apart, like a year, 10 months, 9 months like we did, it's hard, because you change in that time as a person. Like I said, we both worked on ourselves like individually, so you do become like a different version of yourself, and your person will too. So when you reconnect, things aren't going to be exactly like they were before they left. It is going to be a little bit awkward and a little bit weird, and it's going to take time to adjust, because if you're like Mark and I, you have to adjust to someone being in your space again. You're not just alone. You can't do whatever you want all the time. I mean, you can if you really want to, but we were super grateful to just be back together, and I was so happy. I know myself, like, it made the whole world colour again. It was the best thing ever, but it was still awkward. You can be happy and you can have this thing that you've wanted for so long, and it's not going to be perfect right away, because you are a different person, they're a different person, and you do kind of have to get to know each other again a little bit. Like, obviously depending on how long you're apart, but you do have to get used to being around that person again, having them in your space, developing a new routine in your new space that's going to work for you, getting to know each other again in a certain way. And just like Mark, because he was alone, he had to readjust to not only having me but also having the 2 cats in his space. So it can be a big change again, and as much as it's an amazing change because you finally come to the end of this really hard period in your life, it doesn't mean that the hard work is over, and it does unfortunately take a little bit of time to kind of get used to things again and get back in the flow and get back to how you were. So just be aware that sometimes it is going to be like that. Like, it's hard being apart, but it's hard being together again. Different types of hard, and definitely not anywhere near on the same scale, because to me being apart was like up through the ceiling, and being together was like, this is weird but it's easy, So just, that was one thing that I was not aware of, that I didn't expect. So I think that's probably one of the bigger ones for me in this video. If you are long distance and you are about to reunite or move in, or finally close that distance with your partner, just know that it might be a little bit weird for a while, and that's okay. It's totally normal. Oh, this one's a fun one. Book visits with each other and then have like a countdown or a timer or a reminder or something like that. So when Mark was away, I had him come back at Christmas, for Christmas and New Year's, and we surprised all of our friends and family that he was coming back. So that was really fun. For me, it definitely, like, it was hard keeping a secret because we planned it months in advance, but it made it fun, because not only was he coming home, but we were going to surprise everybody. So I had lots of like elaborate things to think of and just kind of occupy my brain in it, and it made me happy. The idea of him coming home made things so much easier. And then after that Christmas and New Year's, we went to Rarotonga in May, which vlog is up on my channel if you want to go and watch that, self-plug. So we met in Rarotonga with my family, and it was absolutely amazing. So having those countdowns like on my phone visually, because I'm a big phone person, I'm glued to my phone if you know me, I would have it on my front screen every time I open my phone, and I screenshotted all the big milestones and like sent them to Mark, and we would talk every single day. When we talked, we'd be like, oh, it's 100 days now, it's 99 days now, 98, and it's such a surreal and exciting feeling to watch those numbers go down. So I highly recommend that. If you are going to visit each other, have some sort of countdown, whether it's like crossing something off on a calendar or an app on your phone like what I had, but it just makes it feel like it's not as long to wait. Sometimes, like when we first started one of our countdowns, I think it was like 120 days, and I remember being like, oh my god, that is so long, how am I going to do 120 days? But as you do life, the days fly by, and then all of a sudden it's 90 days, it's 50 days, it's 10 days. And the closer you get, the more excited you get, and it makes it so much easier to deal with that distance, because not only do you know that it's coming to an end soon, but there's a physical reminder every single day for you. And that was something that made things so much easier for me. I would recommend that for anybody and everybody, to be honest. Another good one for us that I think was kind of exciting was making new traditions and celebrations. So obviously I brought Mark home for Christmas. Usually, because it's just Mark and I, we don't have children or anything like that, we usually go all out for each other for Christmas and all out for the cats. I absolutely spoil my cats on Christmas. But the year that he flew over, it's not like he could take anything big back with him unless I wanted to ship it to him, and it felt kind of silly. So it was more about being together. Like, that is the first Christmas that we have just focused on the fact that we were going to be together, spending time together. We did do little presents for each other, and then Mark actually brought me a Lego set, so we spent a significant amount of time that holiday building that Lego set together and just spending time together. So I feel like you definitely appreciate those sorts of things. And for us, he was also gone for his birthday. So I organised like a long distance birthday present for him. I got it shipped to his house, all of that good stuff. And a Valentine's Day. We don't usually celebrate Valentine's Day at all. We are not that couple. We don't do it. I don't like it. Yeah, no, I don't like Valentine's Day. I'm not a Valentine's Day person. I think we celebrated our first ever Valentine's Day together, and then the one when we were separated is the only other one we've done anything for. And I think it made it special, and it made it feel like it was worth something to me, because in my head Valentine's Day is just like I don't care, but it kind of felt like it had a purpose, if that makes sense. So if there is like some sort of celebration or holiday or something, even if you don't typically celebrate it, it can be nice to go out of your way and just use it as an excuse to do something nice for that person. There was also a couple of times when I was really struggling with being apart and being alone, and I wasn't having fun at my job, that Mark would spontaneously send me flowers or things like that, you know. And it's just small gestures that typically, I think, if you're not a big person for that kind of thing, like we're not typically, you know, if it was day-to-day life, it would happen and you'd be like, oh, that's nice, like, oh, well, thank you. But because it was such a different situation, because you're so far apart, you feel like you're missing that person. Those little gestures feel so much bigger. So just remember that. Like, at home it might be like, oh, he bought me a flower or a bunch of flowers, how nice. He's come home from work and he's brought my favourite candy with him, you know, or we've gone and gotten takeout and just sat together. Those kind of things that are just day-to-day life, and make that count, make it more important. Like, sometimes we would just send each other our favourite foods, or I'd put together a little parcel or something like that, have something delivered to his house without telling him. Just little celebrations every day, not every day, but like everyday things turned into a celebration or something special, because it does everything. It's like dialing your feelings and emotions up 10 notches, and every little thing that happens feels so much bigger than it is. I think I'm kind of rambling on this one because I don't really know how to explain it. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain it better. I think it really is just the way that you react in the situation, because it is so much more like emotionally volatile, that it just means everything means so much more. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get across. Everything means more than you think it does, because you've got the absence of the person, so acts that they do or things that they do mean significantly more. I'm going to leave that one there because I can't communicate it the way that I want to. Don't pressure each other to participate. And I was guilty of this one, because I didn't know at the time what it felt like, because I'm not the person who left, who moved away. Mark was. So whenever I was with our families or with our group of friends, I would say to Mark, oh, you know, do you want a video call and see everybody? Everybody wants to see you. Like, I was pretty guilty of just thinking, well, everybody wants to talk to him, so I should call him so that he can do that. And I didn't realize at the time how lonely it made him feel, because yeah, you get to see everyone and you get to talk to them through a screen, but what you're actively seeing from your point of view is all of your friends in one place hanging out together, having a great night, and you're not there, you're excluded. And I think a lot of people will say, well, that's your fault, you chose to move away, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, we did choose to move away, but it doesn't stop you missing it. It doesn't stop you feeling lonely and feeling left out sometimes. And I don't think that if you are the person who moves away, I don't think that you should let others tell you that you're not allowed to feel sad or you're not allowed to miss it or feel left out because you made that choice. Like, I don't think you should be penalized for making the best choice for your life in the present time. So this one might be a little bit bigger than just dealing with a long distance relationship, but it's definitely something that I had to learn, because even when I got here, talking to all my friends and family, and sometimes they would say, oh, you know, we're all together doing this, we're all together doing that, and you're like, oh. And it really does kind of settle in how far away you are and how lonely it can be. So just when you're talking to your person or in consideration of your person who is doing the long distance, don't force them to engage and don't force them to participate. I definitely was guilty of this because I didn't know at the time. So this is my like PSA to couples. It can make you feel more lonely to participate. So don't be afraid to say, hey, I actually don't feel like I can talk to someone right now. Or, you know, I'm not in the headspace for that. I don't feel like doing that. It's okay. It's all right to do that. And for the partner who's not long distance and the person who just wants to see them and wants them to talk to everyone and wants to be the person that helps them stay connected, just chill out, because it's hard. And you'll know when you get there, it sucks. So just make room for that person and just kind of support them, let them go at their pace as well. Like, if they do want to talk, that's great, and if they don't, that's also great. I know I've rambled a little bit in this video, but it's kind of hard to get a lot of these thoughts across a lot of the time. And I do have notes written on my phone, but they really are just like skim notes, and I kind of write like the idea down and then I'm supposed to elaborate on it myself. Maybe I should start writing the elaborated part so that I don't just ramble in these videos. But the last kind of one that I have is just find ways to feel close to one another. And like I said, you might not always have like the active time to talk to them because you guys might be really busy. Or, you know, they might not want to talk. Maybe they're just having a day that they don't want to, or you don't want to. And that's fine. But I found it really nice to have different ways to feel close to those people. And a lot of people in my life thought this was crazy, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because it helped me. And it wasn't even my idea, it was Mark's idea. I just loved it. So what we did was we had cameras. My sister actually has them, and they're like little cameras that look like toys, and look like household objects. So they're supposed to be like a security thing, and you can hide them amongst other things so that they, you know, blend in. It's not just like, hey, there's a camera mounted to your ceiling or something like that. So we had a couple of these. I like the aesthetic of them. I think they're cute and they fit into my home decor really nicely. But anyway, Mark and I both had one of these cameras, and we had them set up in our rooms. And what you can do is you link it to an app on your phone and the other person's phone, and you can, there's like a daylight mode, a night vision mode, you can turn the head of the camera, and you can talk through it. It has a speaker. And so Mark and I both had one of those in our bedroom each. And so sometimes, yeah, we would just check those cameras. And it's not to like spy on the other person, which a lot of people in my life were like, that's really creepy, why are you spying on him? And I'm like, I'm not. Sometimes I just feel really lonely. And our time difference is big, so one of us would be asleep and the other person would be feeling lonely and feeling like you miss them. And sometimes it was just nice to be able to check a camera and be like, ah, look at him sleeping, you know? Or Mark would wait until I was like almost asleep or not paying attention, and he'd come through the mic on the camera and go rah or boo, and it would scare the living shit out of me. So not only was it a nice way to feel close to them without being in their face all the time, because you don't need to feel like you have to talk all of the time, you still need space. So sometimes it would be like, oh, actually I'm playing a game with some friends, or I'm just having some me time. But if the other person needs to feel close to you, we had that opportunity to. And I think that's what I'm trying to get across here, is that there are other ways to feel close to that person. You know, I've seen those bracelets that people can get that you can like tap it and the other person has a bracelet too, and it makes their bracelet like light up or vibrate or something. And it's just a really easy, quick way of saying, I'm thinking of you right now. Things like that. They don't have to be big, they don't have to be grand, they don't have to be creepy like apparently putting cameras in your bedroom is. I don't think it was creepy, I think it was sweet, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. But just something little and easy so that you can feel close to them without always having to be in each other's grills, if that makes sense. I'm really struggling to talk today. I don't know what it is. I'm tripping over my words a lot, so maybe that means I should end this video. To wrap this up, I do just want to make it very clear for everybody who's about to go through it that long distance will change your relationship forever. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It definitely is a make or break situation. You need to have a lot of trust, a lot of patience, and just a lot of give and take in a long distance relationship. And it's either going to break you up or you're going to come out the other side stronger. It's up to you. You have to put in the work every single day. Hello, chicken! Obviously for Mark and I, it worked out. And a little chicken. Yeah, it is hard. It's hard work and it sucks. And it's not something that I'd ever want to do again, but would I do it again? Absolutely. If Mark decided he wanted to move home or wanted to move to another country, actually we both want to move to another country at some point in our lives. Yeah, if we decided we wanted to move again, and it had to be done that way, where one of us goes first and the other one waits behind, absolutely I'd do it again. Because I know we can do it again. I have that full faith and that full trust in our relationship that we can do these things. I had it when he left the first time, and I'll have it if we ever have to do it again. Is it something I would pick to do again voluntarily? Absolutely not. It sucked. Those 9 or 10 months that we were apart were by far the hardest months of my life. And I know that sounds dramatic, and I've been through a lot of things in my life that definitely could be seen as being harder, but being apart from your husband, sort of involuntarily, voluntarily, in the sense of we just didn't have enough money to both go at the same time. Yeah, it sucks, but you can do it. Don't feel like you need to hold this burden all by yourself. That's what your friends and family are there for. Honestly, my friends and family during that time, I have never felt closer to people. I've never felt more thankful to people. I had friends that would turn up at my house once a month for a quick dinner or a quick chat, and they would be there all night, you know, and it was supposed to be like a 1 monthly thing. It became like a weekendly thing because they saw that I was lonely and they showed up for me. And you need people like that in your life. It's really, really important. But to end the video, if you are about to do this, good luck. You can. I have full faith that you will be absolutely fine, because it's very character building, and some people just need it. Sometimes going through a hard thing in life is the best thing you can do. So that's my opinion anyway. Don't know if you wanted it, gave it to you anyway. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment and subscribe down below, because I do upload every Sunday at 7 AM Brisbane time. If you have any comments or any advice, maybe you've been through long distance as well and you have some advice that I missed out or didn't mention, please leave it down in the comments, because I'd love to read it. If you're about to do long distance and you want to chat to somebody who has done it, please leave me a comment or send me a message. I'm absolutely open to talk to anybody anytime you need it. Otherwise, I will see you next week with another video semi like this one. We're going to be talking about something else to do with moving abroad, most likely. Can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it'll be good. I guarantee you that. If you don't like fun, oh, I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.